Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Board Gamer, and this is my monthly review of what I managed to get painted during the month of January 2025. So I just noticed that on the day that I'm releasing this video, my channel is now 7 years old, so yay, happy birthday Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. So without further ado, let's get into reviewing the miniatures that I've painted up. So first of all, we painted up a few of these GW Orcs. I think they were called Gut Rippers, which is a very pleasant sounding name. But the one on the right has been varnished and the one on the left hasn't, and you can see the difference that I've lost a lot of the colour variation, etc., in the right one over the left one. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem for me with this varnish that I'm using. It kind of dulls everything to the same sort of tones, so I lose a lot of kind of what I want to do. So I'm a bit stuck for what to do about that. I've used a few different varnishes and I keep getting the same sort of results. But yeah, that's kind of where it is at the moment with these miniatures. I actually liked painting the Gut Rippers. The GW actually hit upon kind of that perfect sort of not too much detail and not too little detail with these miniatures, and I really enjoyed painting them, as I always do enjoy painting orcs and dwarves. It's kind of my thing for the channel. Is orcs and dwarves will very rarely disappoint me. So we managed to paint up 5 of the GW orcs. This one I was thinking was sort of more like a commander because he's got a double 2 weapons, etc. So he's a bit more skilled and a bit more aggressive and rather fearsome looking. But yeah, I enjoyed painting these, and as much as I hate to say it, I probably will buy some more GW stuff at some point, even though the price is rather steep. So the other things that we got painted up, I got painted up 2 Frostgrave Barbarians. So these 2 fellows, yeah, there's nothing special about the paint jobs I did on them. I just wanted really to get a couple of normal miniatures painted up for now, because I've lost a bit of my painting mojo at the moment, so trying to get anything done has been a bit of an effort. So yeah, I thought as long as I get something done, I will feel hopefully like I've achieved something. I did try this like blood effect using super glue, etc., and I did manage to actually get it like hanging down really low. But then I was thinking, well, in gameplay that's going to break off. But it was an interesting effect. You let the super glue start to go off, and then you stretch it out a little bit, and yeah. I've seen it done with Yoo-Hoo glue, so I tried some super glue and it kind of worked actually. So then we're on to the Hero Quest Frozen Horror box. So these are the doors from it, and I painted them up okay, and I think the effect is really quite nice actually. They were quite nice sculpts. I quite enjoyed painting those. Seems like an awful long time ago now because I painted these at the beginning of the month, so yeah. The mercenaries in the box were so-so. I'm not terribly impressed with them. They're very soft, very I'd say like the cheap WizKids miniatures. It felt very much like that, not so much quality, but they're okay. They're just very soft. This lady on the left is okay. I don't know what it is about the Hero Quest box sets. The monsters seem to be given a lot more love in the sculpts than the humans, so that's a bit of a strange thing. I love this like little, I think they're ice imps they're called, and he's wearing like lederhosen, which is a weird combination. Ice imp wearing lederhosen, but yeah, I'm sure there's a reason for him to be wearing those. So then we got another one of the mercenaries with the crossbow, probably one of the worst of the sculpts of probably any of the Hero Quests that I've done so far, but it is what it is, and you paint what you get. The female sculpt for the barbarian was okay. She's a little bit She-Ra. I did like the hair colour that I managed to get with her, sort of Red Sonja-esque, and yeah, she's an okay miniature. it's hard to have a really nice looking human miniature, it seems, with Hero Quest. So then we have this War Polar Bear. I really like the armor color that I managed to get on him. So if I'm taking anything away from these, it's I really liked painting that sort of golden armor, and I'll have to try and find something that I can do more of this on. The paint scheme, painting fur is always easy and nice and relaxing, although he did kind of come out more like a war raccoon than a war polar bear. But, war raccoons, I'm sure, would be terrifying too. So then we're on to the Yeti, and again, fur, always easy to do fur, you just dark and slowly move your way up, dry brushing with brighter colours as you go, etc. And you can't really go wrong with it. But I'm quite pleased with how this one turned out, and the polar bear, so yeah. And of course the big bad in the Hero Quest Frozen Horror box is this dude, the Frozen Horror himself. And I really like this miniature. He came out really well, and I'm quite happy with how he turned out. I did this blue tint to the metal, so it sort of fits in with that sort of frozen scheme. I don't see why I couldn't use this as like a demon in, any sort of war skirmish game or role-playing game or whatever. He could be like an ice demon or a frost demon, and putting a normal miniature next to him, you can see just how huge he is. A human-sized miniature is kind of up to his waist, so he's kind of troll-like in proportions. So then we're on to the Rangers of Shadowdeep Blood Moon companions, and this was Orla, so I painted her up in a sort of the Scottish Disney heroine. I can't remember her name, but her Merida, that's the one. I painted her up kind of like her, very pale looking, bright ginger hair, etc. And I really liked the way she painted up. And then Corvin was probably the least favourite of my these two miniatures, but it was still pretty decent to do, and I quite enjoyed painting him. So yeah, like I said, I've lost a bit of my painting mojo at the moment, and it comes and goes. I've been painting for so many years. I know it comes and goes, and I know not to get too disheartened about it, because it will return. Just sort of change tracks and paint something else for a while, or, build something or whatever, and it usually comes back. So this is the first of the characters that I've made for our upcoming Rangers of Shadowdeep campaign. This is Sir Darst, so he's one of my companions. He is a Oathmark light infantryman, so he's a swordsman. So yeah, I kind of like the colours he's got. He's got the green and yellow, which for me is my Larenthian colours. So the neighbours to our people, the Aladorians. This is Ralph, and he is made up of an Oathmark infantryman. So he's a little bit more armoured. He's got like a leather jerkin on, etc. And he's got his bow. Very basic paint jobs, but actually had a bit of fun painting these, because I know there's a reason that I am painting them. I put the names on the bases, which I've never done before, but it's kind of cool because now I know that, whether we win or lose, these are the people who were used in our campaign, So this is Tobias, my character, the monk turned ranger, and yeah, I really like doing this WYSIWYG style. So what you see is what you get on the miniature. I like the way he's got like the shield, which is a hand-me-down, which used to have the Star of Alador on it, but has been beaten up so badly you can hardly even recognize it anymore. And he's carrying his holy icon, which is actually an item he carries. Then we're on to my wife's companion. So this guy was a man-at-arms. I can't remember what she's named him, and I haven't written it on the stand yet. But yeah, he's painted up fairly decently. He's an Oathmark infantryman, and yeah, I like him. He's kind of like a brute. He looks like, he's a part of the brute squad. But yeah, he's got in the green and red colour scheme, which I have done for her companions, as you will see with her next companion, which is this archer. So he's got the green and red again. He's a Oathmark light infantryman. So he's got the no armor, etc., just basic clothing. And yeah, I enjoyed painting them. I had a reason to paint them, and I enjoyed painting them. So I had 6 miniatures to paint up for our quest, and I've painted them up in 5 days. So that's pretty good for me. That's, more than a miniature a day, which really I don't usually paint that quick. So yay. And on to a hero, Bobby. So Bobby was a Frostgrave? Yeah, a Frostgrave barbarian. Parts with maybe a different sword and maybe a different shield on his back. But apart from that, the main body is a Frostgrave barbarian. So yeah, really enjoyed it, this miniature, and I actually think he looks pretty good with his color schemes, etc., which sometimes I struggle with, but no, this color scheme I am quite happy with. So as I was saying, I've kind of been struggling with my painting over the last month or two, so yeah, not quite that many, only 28 miniatures painted this month, but I did have a go at building a bit of scenery, which is something I haven't done for a very long time. So, I wanted to get my hand back in, so I did something a bit simple, and this is very basic, and it's got a lot of problems with it, but it's like a roadside shrine or crypt or whatever. It works fairly okay. Yeah, is it a brilliant piece of scenery? No, it's not. But to be put at the back of the table, I think it will be perfectly fine. It's based on a CD, so an old CD which we no longer wanted, and they work out really good as basis for terrain, etc. So if you've liked this video, please leave a like. I do respond to every comment, so if you want to leave a comment, you can do that also. And if you want to see more from me, you could subscribe and see more from me in the future. But until next time, it's going to be goodbye from me, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.